Hi everybody, I am ARMR, and what I watched today is Reboot, Season 2, Episode 3, When Games Collide. We start off this episode in a really weird looking sci-fi game where all the sprites are these purplish robots. Also, a weird thing to note in this sequence is that Bob's icon is the wrong color for like the whole sequence. It's the same color as Dot and Enzo's icons usually are, instead of his usual guardian yellow. A cool thing to note about this game sequence is that we get some shots from the user's perspective. And that's something we haven't really seen before, so I really enjoyed it. Outside of the game, Hack and Slash attach an odd device of megabytes to the GameCube. Apparently it's called a leech command, and in short order it starts draining the energy from the cube, which makes sense. It's a leech command, it leeches energy. And of course it's just to fuel another one of Megabyte's evil schemes. This power drain starts having an effect in the game itself, and it's kinda cool. It causes the user in the game world to slow down around Bob and company. And in the end, this makes for an easy defeat. Our heroes quickly realize something is up, and they head to the principal office to investigate a related disturbance. As they do, Bob gives a couple throwaway lines I found really cool. He talks about the supercomputer and how there are multiple mainframes, network games, and more systems than you can imagine. This is yet another confirmation for us that the internet is a thing for them and the world is so much bigger than just their little corner. I do love how Bob talks about network games. It makes you wonder just how many sprites, so many systems, like how many of them die to fuel your sweet LAN party. Makes you feel a little bad about cheating if you think about computers like being like mainframe. They come across the mainframe archives, and Enzo has trouble believing they could contain any amount of data. You know, this tiny little shack. But Bob explains in fancy terms that it is bigger on the inside.
That puny little hut is a memory bank with transfinite parameters.
Good to see Time Lord tech at work in mainframe. It helps out. We find out in short order that the emergency alert was the archive's defense shield nearly being breached. Then, in short order, of course, we find out what Bob will learn later, that Megabyte is behind this, having used the energy siphoned off the game to try and overload the shield, which would give Megabyte access to the archives and whichever bit of data he wants within them. Naturally, it doesn't take Bob long to suspect Megabyte. I mean, who could it be? And go to confront him. Several things happen rapidly at this point. Megabyte finishes a portal ring, Frisket leads Enzo into the sewers, and Bob is stopped on his way to Megabytes by an incoming GameCube. The cube is just a basic military game. It looks kinda cool, but Bob looks pretty confident as he reboots. And why wouldn't he be? After all, he's Ram Bob, the one-man army. As he opens fire, Hack and Slash open up the valves on the leech command outside, slowing the game right down before Bob's eyes again. And then they take too much energy and crash the game. Fong is just losing his marbles because as the game is crashing, the user inputs a second game on top of the first, leading to what the title was referring to: two GameCubes on top of each other. The moment when two games collide, twisting together into a weird creative mesh of dinosaur and World War II themes. We get a new costume for Bob, Dino Hunter Bob. And if memory serves, this is the most different game looks that we've had in a single episode to date. This game is so creatively amazing. The mishmash giving us not only Dino Hunter Bob, but the awesome Tank Rex. What's cooler than a straight up T-Rex? How about a mother-loving Tank Rex? Bob being Bob tries to save both himself and Megabyte from the Tank Rex. And Megabyte himself, being himself, betrays Bob and tries to throw him to his doom. Thankfully, Bob is saved by a Taro Jethol, piloted by a British binome, who somehow has a Guardian cursor. Are these miscolors relevant to the story? Not really, but sometimes I enjoy finding these little missed details in a story. And really, would I be a proper geek on the internet if I didn't get a little nitpicky from time to time? In an amusing twist, Megabyte's overconfidence gets him trapped, and it's Bob's drive to save others, no matter who they be, that's his only hope for survival. I do love how bitter Megabyte sounds when he admits he needs Bob's help.
Guardian, I need your help.
Must have been a pretty hard pill to swallow. Meanwhile, Enzo has stumbled upon Megabyte's troops and predictably for himself gotten captured. As the game ends, we find out what Megabyte was after. When we got the Enzo bonus prize, he got an old gateway command, another of his bids to reach the supercomputer. It is now we zoom into Megabyte's lair, and I notice one of his chief binomes has pantyhose on his head and a bag literally marked swag. That is awesome. Like, that is hilarious. He got swag. The rest of the episode follows the time-loved reboot formula. Enzo is put in increasing danger until he's thrown into the portal. Bob and Dot swoop in to save the day, leaving Megabyte's pan in rubble. There is a cool moment right at the end where Bob and Enzo have both vanished inside the portal, and it looks like the portal is shattered a moment before they could come back through. But nope, just as it shatters, they appear back in mainframe, safe and sound, making their patented last-minute escape. And that's where the episode ends. Megabyte's foiled, the day is saved. Anyhow, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.